All right. Good day, everyone. Welcome to our third webinar for the Introduction to E-Commerce course by the University of the Philippines, Open University, Faculty of Management and Development Studies. For this webinar, we'll be discussing content marketing. But before that, since this is a live stream on YouTube, and some students could view this after the live session. Just a quick administrative matters for the course. We've extended the assignment number 3, which is technically your market research. Extended it for, I think, a week. And then after that, we'll be doing your e-commerce stores. Now, for the first and second assignment, everything is graded. The evaluation comments I made is on our course site, so you can just view them. And if you have questions, feel free to message me personally on my Facebook account, email, or in the message platform on my portal of UPOU. All right. So again, good day. And our topic for this webinar is content marketing. Why content marketing? I chose this topic because there are many students in this class who have operating business, and foundation of any digital marketing and any marketing tactic can have is content. And as a foundational concept, you should know about how to structure your content to be used for paid advertising, even free posting on Facebook, on social media, and how to use content to your advantage. Because for those businesses who don't have much budget to spend on digital marketing, particularly on paid advertising, this is uh, one way to stand out among the clutter in the online platforms. Having good content and being strategic about it is one way to reach out to your customers and create better relationship. So again, why content marketing? Because this is an inevitable task of any marketing campaign. You need to have good content or creatives. Even if for paid advertising, for Facebook, for example, you pick the objective, you do the ads, audience targeting, and segmentation. At the end, you need to get down on your creatives or content. For Google advertising, obviously, you need to pin down your advertising on good content, even if text ads lang, di ba? You need to pick the right words, use the right platform, use the right objective. But at the end of it all, you need to have good content, especially for display advertising, video advertising, and other paid advertising. Content is really needed. For those who want to hack it out without so much paid advertising budget, or ika nga, mga free posting sa ating mga Facebook channels, Instagram, the one thing you need to be good at is content. And what types of content can we use and how can we structure it so that we can get the most out of it? So that's the topic for tonight. So I structured the webinar in 3 topics: customers, content and media, and then last, branding. So for the branding, give me some feedback on the concept I'll be introducing, because this is part of the digital marketing course that would be launched next year for the introduction for the Faculty of Management and Development Studies. So a new course on digital marketing. Okay, so let's dive right into the webinar. So again, let's go back to the business model of a business. We want to have a good business model. And at the heart of it is the value proposition and customer segment. One way to connect your benefit, the products and service benefit to the needs of your customers is having the right relationship. And at the heart of it is content. Having a desirable offer is really key, and you need to hammer down your content if you want to get to the right customer relationship. Channels is not only a way to sell online, since we are in e-commerce. Channels is also a way to communicate. And channels, when we talk about selling stuff, it could be termed as channels, but when we talk about communication, the common term is media, but it can be interchanged. So channels, media, it's the same thing. So let's dive right into concepts. So content marketing takes a page from the communication model. So simply, my business, we want to connect to our customers, and the way to connect is through content. We send the content to channels or media, and then we get feedback. So it's a loop. This model can also be used on how to sell, but we focus on the content in this discussion. Okay, so at the heart of that model is the customer. Now, it's very important to know who your customers are. In the business model, using the business model Canvas tool, we identified our customer segments, right? Then when we identified them, we stated some general concepts, general phrases, keywords, but we didn't hammer down the specifics. In digital marketing, content marketing, customer segmentation is key, especially if you're doing paid advertising. So let's look into some of the techniques. We have 4 basic rules in segmentation. Demographics. It's very important to know the age range, gender, marital status, ethnicity, income could be an educational attainment. But for digital advertising, age, gender, marital status,
Wala yan. Hindi masyado yan.
including demographics, geographics is included here. So location, your target market is also included here. And then psychographics. This is the interest. Sa Facebook, ito yung mga nilalike natin. Simple as that. The page we like, our interest. That's psychographics. Search behavior. In the hardcore marketing segmentation, this is behavioral segmentation. But for content marketing, digital marketing, we look into behavioral segmentation as search behavior. This is where keywords come into play. What are the most used keywords used by your customers in relation to the products and services that you offer? So you need to select those out so that you can create content around them, especially in your website or your social media pages. So every keyword has search intent, and this is key, especially in search engine optimization, search engine marketing in Google, search ads. And then technographics, social media channels used, and then devices used. For those who have experience in doing digital marketing, you are unconsciously segmenting your target market when you select the audience you try to target. So when you pick the ad group, I believe yung pangalan niya. Yung second phase in the Facebook advertising, you select the geographical location of your target market, age range, interest. You exclude and include interest there. Saan nyo ilalabas yung ad? Maybe mobile lang or desktop, tablets. And then you will surprise when you do Facebook advertising and Google advertising. You can select what type of connection, 3G, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi lang. So you can actually select those things. So it's better to know how to do this manually without the aid of the advertising platforms. So typical template lang on how can we segment our customer segment further. So the typical this one is the typical attributes that you usually hammer down on advertising platforms, but this could be expanded more depending on how customized your ads would be. Now, um, uh, the good thing in customer segmentation and targeting, if you select the best customer and match it with your content, especially sa advertising, the cost would be lower. Why do you need to be specific on your target market? One, the good benefit is the cost of advertising is lower if you match their needs to your ad and then be niche about it. But the good thing here is that when I mentioned on some of the business models that you need to be more specific about your target market, this is what I'm talking about. You need to be really specific, like the age range. What's the age range? You need to select. For example, kung 25 to 40 ang age range, you would focus on that age group. But it doesn't mean you won't accept customers outside that age range. You just need to advertise on those age range. There is a primary and secondary market kasi. When you advertise on like say, let's say 25 to 40 years old, you be specific about it on Facebook. You do advertising on Facebook. 25 to 40 lang. So 15 years lang. So may isip nyo ang unti, di ba? Parang ang naiisip natin, gusto mo sa lahat na para the more chances of winning. But in reality, when you spread the age range, you won't appeal to everyone most of the time. And you would spread yourself too thin, also your financial resources. So you want to select the age range, maybe gender, interest, that would give you the highest chances of success. But in digital advertising, digital marketing, there are spillovers. Let's say 25 to 40 nga yung tinarget. There's always some friends of friends or shared content na na-share or yung advertising content yun na-share. Nakita ng, let's say, 45-year-old individual and interested din sila, they would come to you. And that's like a good advantage to have because parang secondary market, you're not focused on them, but you can get sales from outside those age range. Parang ganun siya. So it doesn't mean you would be selective on your target market. Doesn't mean dun lang kayo kukuha ng sales. Doesn't mean that. It just means you are focusing on that group so that the chances of you engaging is higher. Mas malaking chances of sales. And if you have higher chance of sales, syempre mas malaki yung expected revenues. And if you target those individuals, it's a matter of time, magsispill over siya sa other types of or other customers na hindi nyo na-select. Why? Because there is a rule in addressing the majority. Ang sinasabi, this is a good book if you want to read on this, Crossing the Chasm. There is groups within a population. You want to target the early adopters. The term early adopters is for new products, but in marketing, it also applies. It's a group within your target market that would give you the highest engagement. That when you engage with them, hopefully they would give positive feedback, and that would spill over to the early majority, late majority, and laggards. Kasi hindi lahat ng customer na target market nyo mapiplease. Hindi talaga siya mapiplease. So, you pin down on the early adopters. Ang sabi nga nila, ang perfect example or analogy ng crossing the chasm effect. This is where may lalabas na bagong iPhone, di ba? iPhone 13. Yeah. So, naisip nyo na lalabas siya bago, let's say, tomorrow, there are people who would line up the stores or fill up the waiting list just to get the latest iPhone immediately. Pero, pwede naman silang bumili the following week without the hassle, without the pila in the physical store, or without enduring the wait list. So, yun yung boundary or the chasm, so to speak. When you have targeted the early adopters, they would line up to your content, and when they engage, the chances that they would share that content to the early and late majority is high, and that would explain the secondary market. So hindi lang ibig sabihin na tina-target nyo early adopter, dun lang yung market nyo. No. As long as you engage, you provide good experience to those early adopters, the chances of them sharing the content, promoting you is high. So makakuha rin kayo ng customers in the early majority and late majority. So technically, if you have a whole target market, let's say yung example kanina, 15 to 25 to 40-year-old. Tingin nyo, that's the age range that is your early adopter. So kung nakuha nyo yung loob nila, let's say nakuha nyo yung loob nila, maganda yung experience, the chances are they would spill over or they would share the content, share the experience to the early majority, late majority. So that's 40 and above and 25 and below. So makakuha pa rin kayo ng customers doon. Yun yung nagiging misconception when we talk about customer segmentation and targeting. The misconception is that when you target specific group, dun lang kayo makakuha ng sales. No. It's actually powerful when you target specific people because you would get good feedback, and that feedback can be used to fuel or to expand to other segments. So, at least clear tayo doon. If you have questions, raise hand or magsalita lang kayo. It's fine. Okay. So, we know the customer segmentation. Yun lang siya kasimple. We have 4 techniques, and that techniques is a way to pin down on what you think is the early adopters that would give you the highest engagement, so that you get the most feedback, the most reviews, the most testimonials, and the objective is for them to do the marketing for you. Yan. Okay? Now, when you identify the early majority, the early adopter, sorry. When you identify those early adopters, so that's the specific target market or specific subset within your target market. A typical individual goes through a journey when they consume content. You need to be mindful of this because not everyone you send content to, let's say advertising content, hindi agad yan bibili, obviously. They go through a process from awareness to consideration to conversion and loyalty. So ano-ano siya? Ang analogy dito, sabi nila, is parang may nanliligaw, di ba? Yan. Parang journey to forever daw. So awareness, yan yung love at first sight. So first time mo makita yung something, na in love ka na. Yan yung awareness stage. Consideration, yan yung nagligawan na sila. So, you know more about each other. Yan yung consideration. Conversion is kung sinagot na. Then loyalty, maybe nagpakasal. So, a little bit of analogy. In the business sense, awareness is when they become aware of your offer. So usually, this is nakita sila ng news feed or post nyo or nakita na advertising content, nakita nila kunyari yung poster nyo somewhere or sinabi ng kapitbahay. That's awareness. Consideration is where the objective in awareness is not to get sale, but to get interest from your customer. So when they become interested, your customer would research, would educate themselves to maybe to decide whether to buy or not from you. Conversion is where you get the sale. Loyalty is where they would buy from you again, or they would spread awareness to the other parts of the target market. So ito yung from early adopters to early majority and late majority. So daanan natin siya isa-isa. Awareness is from an unaware stage to aware stage. Yun lang kasimple. And the assumption here is that your customer have short attention span. So in the context of content marketing, your content should be in correlation with the attention span of your customer, short attention span. So they wouldn't watch lengthy videos. They wouldn't read lengthy text. People would be interested if you have good design, catchy words, catchy slogans, and maybe unique, bite-sized content, so to speak. Yan. Yun yung awareness. The objective here is to get interest. Yun lang. Ganun lang talaga. Get interest. On the consideration, assuming your customer became interested on your offer. So there is a saying that in the report, what's the report? The We Are Social report 2021 February. The statistic of Filipinos who search before making a decision, 75 of Filipinos search first before deciding on buying on stuff. So 3 out of 5 magsa-search muna sila. The objective for them is to educate whether tama ba yung binibili ko. Ang gagawin nila usually when they saw your ad, titingnan nila yung price mo, and then they would compare similar products. Meron bang similar? Meron bang mas mura? Meron bang of higher quality? So that's the education part. Their customers will educate themselves. So you need to put up content on this journey stage. The late, I believe, I don't know if this still stands, pero I think 2 years ago, the average pieces of content that a customer or an individual would consume before buying something is 7 pieces of content. So, kunyari nakita niyo ad, nakita ng isang tao yung ad nyo in Facebook, Instagram, in Google. They would read stuff, different stuff online, even ask people 7 times before they would decide whether to buy from you or not. So, yun yung usual na on the average, parang magko-consume muna sila ng maraming content just to educate themselves and to build or to support their decision to buy from you. Yan. So, hindi lang ibig sabihin pag digital marketing, it's about creating good advertising. Kasi ang advertising, usually, nasa awareness stage yun. You want to just catch their attention. Now, the common misconception in digital advertising is when you put up stuff or advertising na nagbebenta na agad, you expect sales. You can get sales, but the chances of you earning in relation to the budget you're spending is not that high. Because imagine, kung i-convert natin siya sa physical experience, imagine nyo, wala kayong kaalam-alam. Nari, nasa bahay nyo kayo, nakatambay kayo sa gate nyo. Biglang may pumunta, binentahan ka ng, let's say, encyclopedia. The chances are hindi kayo bibili, di ba? Similarly sa online, nagbabrowse kayo ng newsfeed, meron kayong biglang nakita, nagbebenta, may sale, encyclopedia. So, most of the time, you would just skip yung sponsored post, di ba? So, similar sa ganong experience, you need to be mindful that there are different journey stages and the correct content should be matched so that you can get the highest chances of success. So, sa conversion, this is the third stage conversion, is to create an action. Ito na yung magbebenta na. Ito na yung where you get your sale. So, could be the same content but with a what we call something parang an offer that they can't refuse. I remember yung ginagawa namin before, you create an awareness video, and then when they view the video, may second video na mapapadala sa kanila. It's about an offer without any discount or something. It's just a straight up offer. Kasi I know when they view the first video, medyo interested sila. So I send the second video. Kapag na-view nila ulit yon at hindi sila bumili, ang usual parang conversion rate nun, meaning ilang tao yung nakakita ng ad sa number ng naging paying customers. Usually, less than 2% lang yan eh. What about the 98% na nanood ng video pero hindi bumili? You would send a third video. Ito na yung conversion. Parang video. Same ad, same offer, but you make an offer that they can't refuse. A perfect example is a discount. So, let's say 20% discount and they need to avail the discount within a day or else mawawala na. So, from the 2% conversion rate in the consideration stage, may increase nyo siya on the third ad on the conversion stage. So, mas magkakaroon kayo ng chances. So, pwede rin ganun. It's in paid advertising, you can easily do this customer journey stages and content matching. But in free posting on Facebook, Instagram, It's very difficult because it's purely for awareness, and some would spill over sa consideration and conversion, but it's very difficult to predict. And then the fourth one is to develop relationship, which is the objective, the should be objective of any business, is not to just provide or get sale. It's about fostering a relationship with your customers. And by doing so, when you get fans, yung true fans, hindi lang yung nag-like sa page, true fans that would buy from you regularly, and then when you get their testimonials review, they would spread the awareness. So parang ito yung tinatawag na word of mouth. But in the digital marketing concept, it can be immortalized through reviews on your page, testimonials, and a simple share can be helpful in reaching out to the other parts of your customer or target market. So yan. Again, the concept here is not to give you an idea that you need to create many content for each of the journey stages. It's not that. You just need to be mindful that your customer goes through journey steps before buying something. And if you want to be smart about it, if you had one piece of content, you can repurpose that into an awareness type of content, consideration, and conversion. If you don't have the budget to spend for content development. So let's say may video ka, video. And then you can splice the video into a bite-sized one for awareness, 15 seconds or less. Edit mo for consideration, 2 minutes. And then for the conversion, mag-add ka na ng mga discount. So it doesn't mean you need to produce or develop content. It's better, yes, but doesn't mean you need to do it. You still need to match the preferences of your customer. So customer development is key. Talking to your customers, getting their pain point and gain points, and knowing what they want and what they need is a prerequisite of this content marketing and customer journey stage planning. Okay. So, alam na natin kung paano, at least, kung paano hanapin si early adopters. Alam natin yung stages na dinadaanan nila bago sila bibili. Now, ano yung mga content forms na pwede natin gamitin? We have 5 basic content forms: text, audio, image, video, and interactive. I think this is understandable naman for everyone, except for the interactive. Interactive is a content that needs interaction with the user to work. Let's say, alam niyo yung mga games sa Facebook, yung mga magpe-predict ng kung sinong mga kamukha niyong artista. That's an interactive type of content. Mga ganun. Something that needs programming to work a little bit. Yan, yun yung interactive. But the 4 basic ones, text, audio, image, video, yeah, basic. We need to be mindful that there is, in relation to customer journey, mayroong content length. Ito, based from Facebook, Facebook content planning. There, you should be mindful that your customers have varying degrees of attention span, and you should match your content. Sinasabi ni Facebook, you need to create on the go, lean forward, and lean back. On the go, ito yung bite size kasi short attention span. So imagine, let's say, ang example natin, office worker, nasa office. Ang on the go content, something that they can consume and they can finish reading in their quick break, a 15-minute break. So literally on the go. Parang image lang siya, a few text, yun na. Just to catch the attention. Hindi mo i-expect na bibili sila dito for your on-the-go content. Lean forward is something to educate. So it matches the consideration stage. Lean forward kasi literally you're at the edge of your seat. So imagine, nakapila ka, nag-aantay kang matawag. So you're reading stuff, anytime pwede mo siyang i-close. Kaya literally lean forward. You have longer time to spare. Parang sa example, kung office worker, mga lunch time. So mas mahaba, di ba, ng konti. You don't expect your customers to buy on that stage. You expect them to buy on the lean back type of content, the longer type of content. Ito na yung kung meron kayong e-commerce shop, ito na yung actual e-commerce page nyo with the lengthy description, reviews, and maybe kung meron kayong commentary, meron kayong blog pa, ito na yung lean back. And it usually happens at their spare time. Ito na yung nasa bahay na sila. Kaya lean back, marami silang oras. Let's say, umuwi na si office worker, nasa bahay na siya, around 8. Yun na yung time, nagbabrowse siya ng mobile phone, nanonood ng video. Kung naalala niya, kung effective yung on-the-go content mo at lean-forward content, pag uwi niya sa bahay, may isipan niyang bumili. Yun yung parang journey stages in relation to content length. Kaya lean back, kaya maraming oras. Literally, sa picture nakahiga, di ba? Kasi usually, night time, yung bumibili yung mga tao. Yan. Especially mga retail consumers. And then meron tayong content style. This is based from Google's naman, YouTube's content style. Meron tayong different forms of content. Sinasabi niya, the 3H principle, hero, hub, and help. Hero, ito yung para sa browsers to spread awareness. So basically, this is for the awareness stage. Ang sinasabi nila, kaya naka-pyramid siya, you need to just have at least, I think just one hero content to spread awareness. In big brands, ito yung nag-hire sila ng advertisers, nag-hire ng endorsers, ambassadors, or ito yung isang piece of content that they would spend and they would use that for a year. So ito yung may production value na. You need to spend on this hero content. And you don't need to do this every time. It's just one, just to spread the awareness. Now, when you spread that awareness, you need to match that with hub and help. Yung hub, ito yung content about your product. Kumbaga, ito yung mga pinupush nyo para malaman nila about your product. Ang help is about content related to specific topics or keywords na sinesearch nila that is related to your business. So, kunyari, let's say nagbebenta, cafe, for example, cafe. Ang hero mo, kunyari, nag-hire ka ng artista. Or nagpa-shoutout ka sa isang artista, no-promote yan. Hero content na yun. Sample. So, it would spread awareness. In-endorse siya ni someone. Now, on the hub, if you're a cafe, the hub content are pieces of content to introduce the offers or the specific products that you have. Ano yung benefit? Kaya siya push kasi wala naman nagsisearch yun eh. You want to make them aware na meron kaming ganitong product. Yan yung hub. Now, sa help, since cafe, ano yung usual na sinesearch kapag nagkakape? Since cafe, coffee, yung main value proposition, they would search what is the best coffee or what is the best coffee mixture or something. Ito yung mga typical na sinesearch nila online. And you would create content on that. So that, yes, aware sila. Pero not all would go back to you. But, when the need arises, na nag-search sila something, they would go back to the help content that you produce or develop in your website maybe or in your Facebook page. So ito yung mga FAQs kumbaga. And in the digital marketing tactics, ito yung mga articles, content that would rank you higher in search engine. Like say may article ka, how to select the best coffee beans. Yan, mga ganon. Kung ganun ka, yung cafe nagbebenta ng coffee bean, for example. Or how to preserve coffee after buying, mga ganyan. How to refrigerate. So, ang sinesearch eh. So, yun yung help. Ang sinasabi, konting hero content, pero pinakamarami yung help content so that you can pull them back. Kasi you are pushing content sa kanila on the hub. Ito yung about your products, di ba? So, yun yung pyramid of content style na tinatawag. So, how can we synthesize them all together? So, may tinatawag na marketing funnel. From the awareness stage, gusto mo i-push sila sa content mo on the consideration stage and ultimately on the checkout page. Yan yung conversion. Yan, checkout page. And then, what you want to do is to provide the best experience so that they would create content on their own. Ito na yung review. Ito na yung nasa loyalty stage. Yan. So, lumabas siya sa conversion, gumawa siya ng content to spread more awareness. So, yun yung typical marketing funnel. You funnel them towards your conversion page. Ito yung tinatawag natin na checkout. Ito na yung actual product page, checkout, and can be easily be your kahit your inbox sa Facebook Messenger kung malaking sophisticated na e-commerce store, simply your inbox kasi doon kayo mag-uusap, doon kayo mag-exchange ng maybe GCash, and then you would deliver the product. So simply yun yung conversion stage. But the objective is not to finish the conversation, the relationship after the sale. You want to get feedback, you want to get recommendation, and that's making them create some user-generated content. Yun yun. Usually, awareness, hero on the go, yun yung mga type of content. Sa consideration, hub lean forward. And then, loyalty, usually, conversion and loyalty help and lean back. Ganun yung mga typical nature ng mga content around those stages. Okay, so simple content bucket template. We can be more specific about it, but simply marami pa siya kasi yung campaign kailangan may objective ka pa dyan. Kailangan may metric ka pa, how to monitor the data to check the performance. But simply, if you want to plan for content, you need to have content for each of the journey stages. And kung ang campaign mo, let's say, meron kang event, yan, may one campaign ka. Or, let's say, you want to experiment on 3 different platforms. So, let's say, meron kang, let's say, yung cafe business, meron kang lalabas na bagong product. You want to make an experiment on whether mas maganda ba siya sa Facebook, mas maganda ba pag sa website article via search engine marketing, or baka pwedeng LinkedIn, sample lang. So meron kang 3 campaigns. Kahit isang piece of content lang, you just repurpose them for the different platforms. You can do the testing around those 3 different platforms and in the context of the journey stage. So ganun yung typical content planning in a digital marketing context. So don't worry, simple lang naman yung template na to. Hindi naman siya rocket science. The concept here is just to have a bucket on each of the awareness, consideration, conversion, and loyalty boxes for each of the campaign. Pwede rin hindi campaign nga actually yung nandun sa gilid. Pwedeng target market. But that is for mature businesses na. If you target different types of consumers. But for new businesses, you just target one and experiment on maybe the content mismo, kung video ba or image, or the platform, the media platform. O kung Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. May TikTok na ngayon eh. Okay, so, syempre, hindi tayo matatapos without the exact content forms that you can use. So ito, we have a list of all the possible, maybe not all, but most of the possible content forms that you can pursue for each of the journey stage per content form. So may image, text, audio, video, interactive tayo. We classify them according to the journey stages. So kung awareness, let's take for example yung text. Social media post without an image. Yeah, that's one content. Text ad, tweets for image, photographs, illustration, memes. Kung medyo sophisticated ka, mga 3D image. Audio, usually podcast, anything audio. Yeah. But bite size. Kaya brand mentions, branded music. Yeah. I don't know if you would pursue this, but at least you have an idea on what are the content forms for each of these journey stages. Video, may kita nyo, bite size, less than 1 minute. In my experience, kapag awareness, usually 15 seconds or less. Interactive, usually mga ano yan lead ads. Yung mga nakikita nyo sa Facebook, na parang video, when you click, it would open a page. But that page is on Facebook, hindi siya website. So it's lead ads that could collect information. So yun yung mga, some of the sophisticated interactive types of ads. Usually ads to eh. Or you can be more techy about it. Yung mga games that would promote stuff. Yan. But it needs little bit of programming. Napapansin nyo on this matrix, pinakamaraming content examples nasa consideration. Bakit? Because you want to educate your customers that your offer is the best. Yan. And it matches their needs. Yan. So, meron kang maraming pwedeng i-explore. White papers, brochure, ebooks for text, infographics, sticker sets, memes, stories sa image, audio, yan, podcasts. Sa video, ang dami din. Parodies, vlogs, unboxing. Yan, yung mga uso ngayon because of the pandemic, mas into videos ang Filipinos rather than the text, image, and audio. Interactive, yan, mga branded games, mga comparison websites, explainer, informational websites. Conversion, ito na yung mag-hammer down to make them, to make your customer buy from you. So ito na yung mga, mapapansin nyo, ito yung mga nakikita mo sa product page mismo, kung saan ka mag-order. Yan. Referral codes, product images. We have IVR actually for audio, but it's not for mostly for e-commerce, but for other businesses. For video, may kita natin yan, mga shoppable videos, the preview in the product pages. Yan. And lastly, on the loyalty, this is for maintaining or retaining the relationship. Kaya meron kang chatbots, customer support, you have feedback surveys for text, for image, guides that would help them, especially, kunyari, sample natin nga kanina, cafe. Kung meron kayong DIY brewery, something, meron kang guide on how to maintain freshness or something. Sa video, we usually hammer down on this one, testimonial and product review. Yeah. And then, teka, nakaharang ako eh. Members only website application for interactive communities, yan, for loyalty interactive. So ang daming pwedeng i-pursue. But it doesn't mean kailangan nyo i-pursue lahat or kunin lahat. The or the criteria when you would select among the list is what is the preference of your target market. And you can only know that when you talk to them and at least observe them. Especially kung medyo ka-age na mas madali, you just mirror. Kunyari, millennials, alam naman natin yung mga typical na in sa kanila. We can easily see that in social media platforms. But for the more niche markets, you can't do away with market research. At least need to talk to those people. What do they usually respond? Saan sila na-entertain? And that's one way to match the content you would push. Okay. Bibilisan ko na lang, but we'll finish everything in a few minutes. So now we discussed our customers. We need to segment them. We need to identify early adopters and then the journey they go through. And how can we repurpose the content that we have into different forms along the journey stages. Now, paano natin siya ipapadala? That's the role of the channels. So again, channels usually is referred to when we are selling. But for communication or promotion communication and promotion, it's usually called media. Now, media, channel, ito yung link from the customer to you as a business. We have 5 different types: paid, owned, granted, leased, and earned. So imagine nyo si channel or media, yan yung tali na nagko-connect between the two glasses, di ba? Alam natin yung game na yun ng kabataan natin. So paid media is when you pay to use that string or yung parang bridge. So ito yung mga paid advertising networks, Facebook ads, Google ads. That's paid media. Owned media is where you post content on the things or the media platforms you own. Usually your website, your e-commerce pages. Ang tanong, paano yung mga Facebook pages natin, yung mga social media pages natin? Saan siya? It's not owned. You do not own that page. You just lease that page. So part siya ng leased media. Yung mga Facebook page natin, LinkedIn page, Instagram page, hindi natin siya pag-aari, we just lease those out. Tatanungin niyo ako, bakit leased? Hindi naman tayo nagbabayad, di ba? Actually, nagbabayad tayo. And our payment is our data. The interaction we do with the platform, the social media platform, store that information and use that as a way to advertise or to offer to advertisers. Yung mga data natin dyan, yung mga nilalike natin, mga binuview natin na video, mga post natin, all of that is mined for those platforms to generate an advertising network suited and desirable for big brands or mga businesses na nagbabayad. So yung binabayad sa list data at yung data yun iniipon nila para gamitin for the paid media. Yan. So ano yung granted media naman? Granted media is to ask permission at no charge. Ito yung mga emails. Yan. Wala namang bayad. Pero we need to create an account and we ask permission. Parang ganun. And the greatest form of channel in media, in my opinion, is the earned media. You have others build the network for you. ito yung sila mismo yung gagawa ng content para sa inyo. Parang ito yung the the perf the synonym, the digital synonym for word of mouth. Yeah, earned media. So saan galing siya? This is based from the Email Marketing Rules 3rd edition. So if you want to read those out. So this is based on the POGL media model. Yeah. So let's quickly run through the model. So at the heart of it, at the middle, is the earned media. So meron tayong word of mouth, publicity, media relations, investor relations, influencer relations, mga nagpo-post Instagram, di ba? So that's the ultimate goal, to get those earned media. And how can we get those? We need to select ano ba yung gagamitin natin, paid, least, owned, and granted. So yung paid media, ito yung mga yan, TV, radio, print, direct mail is a type of paid media. Search engine marketing, ito yung Google Ads, Facebook posts, sponsored post. Yan. Yan yung paid. If you want the cross between earned media and paid media, yan yung affiliate marketing, incentivized referrals. So because you're paying those individuals in a form of commission, they would promote for you. Yan. Ito yung mga resellers na lagi kong nakikita sa mga cosmetic and mga beauty product industry. Usually may mga ano sila distributors, resellers. It's actually a form of affiliate marketing. So parang yung main business magbebenta sa mga resellers niya at a distributor cost. So at maybe siguro 40% discount, and they would sell that at the SRP. Yan. Yung retail price. So yung spread, yung 40% discount, matuturn nila into profit for themselves. Pero the benefit for the main business is that may nagba-market para sa kanila. So yun yun. How that's affiliate marketing. Granted, media, email marketing, search engine authority, usually. Email marketing, for me, that's a follow-up tactic, especially kapag meron ka ng email list. But the most common in the granted media is search engine authority if you have websites. Yan, parang search engine optimization, yung marketing tactic dito. Now, granted and earned media, yung cross niya. Email forwards is an example when your customer sends the email, yung mga special offers na yun, pinapadala niya sa email. Yan. Or, ito yung tinatawag na kung sino yung familiar sa search engine optimization, mga backlinks. Kumbaga. So, i-refer kayo ng ibang website. Let's say, magre-review sila ng offers nyo, i-mention nila yung name nyo with a link. Link that when they click that link, pupunta sa website nyo yan. Mga type of search engine authority and earned media. Owned media, basically your website. And kung meron kayong mga iba pang application, kung meron kayong mobile application, that's an owned media. And the content on that owned platform are your maybe blog posts, white papers, infographics, anything that is hosted on your own media is yun yung mga type of content. Now, what's the objective if you have a website? Is to generate or to get as much user-generated content. Yan yung product and service reviews on website, anything user-generated, customer testimonials. Kaya mapapansin nyo, Lazada, Shopee, when you buy something from them, nag-offer yung mismo yung platform, parang mga stars yata, I don't know kung anong currency sa in application currency. So when you review your purchase, they would offer you points, wherein when you accumulate points, magkakaroon ng malaking discount for your next purchase. So that's one way to influence product and service reviews, and also testimonials. Positive, actually. Yeah. And then last, the common media na ginagamit ng mga small and medium enterprises are least media. Ito yung Facebook natin, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and all. Yan. Ang cross between earned media and least media is the social media engagement, reviews, testimonials on those pages. Ayan, yun yung usually goal dyan. And in my experience, when we do paid advertising, when we post on our own platforms, on media, and when on our social media pages, every campaign should end at paano magkakaroon ng user-generated content para magkaroon ng earned media. So that earned media kasi it's an investment eh. Kapag naglagay sila ng testimonial, nandun na siya, hindi na siya mawawala. And the downside is, kapag pangit yung service nyo, pangit yung product mo, pag nag-negative review, hindi nyo na rin siya mabubura. So, it goes hand in hand, parang double-edged sword. But if you're confident about your product, service, once you hammer down the technique on how to get the earned media, it would accumulate that sa dulo, pagtagal, hindi mo na kailangan mag-advertise. Yung engine of the earned media would help you market itself, or the business market itself. So yun yung goal, the goal of every business is to get as much earned media. And mapapansin nyo, pag laging nag-example ako on the previous business, actual business, it's all about getting earned media. Because when you get those earned media, hindi mo na kailangan magbayad in the future for the paid advertising. And even yung mga pagpo-post sa Facebook regularly, kahit hindi ka na mag-post eh. Basta pag-search nila, uy, ganda ng reviews nito. So, yeah. Lalo kung marami. That's one good way to make use of content, and putting in perspective that relationship should be the main objective of any marketing campaign, and yung parang translation niya in the digital content, that's earned media. Yun yung parang manifestation of good relationship, yung earned media. Yan. So, kanina may content bucket template, lagay nyo lang kung saan channel or media. Kaharang na naman ako. Yan. So, channels. Usually, awareness, nasa least platforms yan eh. Least media. Facebook, Google. Consideration, the best practice should be on your own platform if you have an own e-commerce store. Why? Because when you host your main e-commerce site on social media, wala namang mali doon. Meron nga nagbebenta, Instagram lang, di ba? And then Facebook lang. But the risk of mataas yung risk when you host your store on those social media platforms. Because what if one time mag-charge na sila for Facebook pages? Or ayaw na nilang, the ultimate, pwedeng mangyari. What if you violated their terms and conditions? I-cut nila or i-disable nila yung account mo. So, burado yung online store mo. So, yun yung, because it's a leased platform, you agree to their terms and conditions, any violation, they can easily suspend your account. So, the best practice usually is to have an own website. At least you control everything. One good way is to funnel everyone from Facebook to your own website. And when you have a loyal customer base, hindi na sila dadaan ng Facebook. Didiretso na sila sa inyo. So yun yung usual stages or channels in every journey stage. Awareness is least, and then consideration owned, and conversion. Between the awareness and consideration, para ma-funnel mo, usually, may link lang yan eh. So, di ba, magpo-post ka sa Facebook, get our new offer, visit our store at blah, blah, blah. So, may link, pwede lang i-click. Or pwede rin, you collect their personal information in the form of email or phone number. Yun yung granted media for you to contact them at any point in time para ma-funnel nyo back sila sa inyong own website. So, similarly, conversion, usually, the best practice is you should own the platform. But meron namang mga stable platforms that is pro-merchant, like mga Lazada, Shopee. Hindi naman sila basta-basta magtatanggal ng account. That's usually the case for social media lang because basically it's not for selling, it's just for spreading awareness. But you can host a store there, but the risk is high. So for new businesses, okay lang siya. But when you scale up, mahirap. If you viewed the live session kahapon sa UPOU, si Rika, HTP before, parang nag-start siya, hindi pa uso daw yung COD, and then sa Instagram store lang siya. Ang experience ko nun before, yung class namin, yung class na kasama siya, merong time na si Instagram, parang lahat ng mga nagbebenta doon, parang pinagbawal na yung mga nagmamine-mine kasi may bagong application ata silang introduce for selling. So, imagine before, kumikita siya ng malaki and then suddenly, nagbago yung terms ng platform, nawala yung sale niya for a few days. Pero bumalik din naman because parang lang siya, connection of application to specific profile. Kasi kailangan may business profile ka. Parang ganon. So, yung mga ganong instances, it happens when you sell on a platform that is not intended for selling. Yeah. And then loyalty, usually owned platforms. Loyalty, mga email lang yan eh. You send out email or repeat purchase, you send out referral codes or discounts. Yeah. Okay. So last na, to sum everything up, we know that content is a way to forge a good relationship. And it's sort of the foundational thing when you do digital marketing. So you can't do away with content. Now, branding is a good way to perceive a good value in the eyes of your customers. Now, and I know we went through the assignment, the first activity wherein you would think of a business idea, and some stated they want to offer the high quality products at an affordable cost. It doesn't happen because when you say high quality, it involves cost, and when you involve high cost, you can offer an affordable rate. Now, there is an exception to that rule. Pwede kayong mag-offer ng affordable rates, affordable price with a high quality. But that high quality is a perceived value. Ano yung perceived value? Ano yung parang ito yung tingin lang ng customer. Hindi siya actually quality in terms of materials used. Ito lang yung tingin nila. The perfect example nito is, let's say, meron kang generic na mineral water. The cost to produce is, let's say, piso. Yan. So, ang price mo is, let's say, 2 pesos. 100% hindi naman. Yung mga 10 pesos. Yan. Imagine that same mineral water, walang brand, or kahit generic na brand na hindi kilala, itapat mo siya sa isang brand, sa isang same product, pero yung nakalagay sa kanya Coca-Cola, for example, or ano ba yung mga sikat? Yeah, Coca-Cola. Kung titignan mo siya, yung perception mo, mas mahal. Yung mas mahal, hindi actually mas mahal. Kung parang 10 pesos, Coca-Cola lang yung nakalagay sa isa. Ang tingin mo parang bargain yung merong Coca-Cola logo, 'di ba? So, yun yung isang exception that you can offer affordable price at a high quality. But the high quality there is not on the materials, on the process. It's actually the perception lang that you generated on the minds of your customers. So how can you do that? Some say branding is yun nga, yung logo. But for me, it involves 6 factors. Hindi lang siya yung logo. It's a part of the logo. Branding for me is the total experience that a customer have on your product or service. So let's look into a map that is part of the digital marketing course of the UPOU. Should be, I think, offered next year. So branding, at the heart of it, involves 6 different factors. Now, simulan natin sa kanina, yung Coca-Cola logo. It's just a symbol. So, sinasabi kasi, di ba, when we talk about branding, kailangan mo gumawa ng magandang logo, kailangan maganda yung color palette, the design, fits. Yan. But it's actually just for recall. Mapapansin natin, symbol is just for recall. Para maalala mo yung experience mo doon sa company niya. It's just made for that purpose. That's the sole use of the symbol. And we associate a value on that symbol. And in the technical marketing parlance, that's brand equity, the value associated on the logo. But basically, it's a recall on your past experiences of that brand. So imagine Coca-Cola, pero nung time mo pala before, hindi maganda yung experience mo, hindi positive yung value sa'yo. It's actually negative if you have bad past experience. So, but basically, if you have good business, you have good product, it should be a good recall. Kaya nga, the aim of brands is to have a good recall na kapag you want to own the category. Parang ano yan, toothpaste, di ba? Toothpaste, kapag may bibili sa tindahan, pabili nga ang Colgate. Yeah. Di ba ganun? So, you want to own that. It's a recall. So, that name, that symbol is like a recall of the past experiences. So yun yung role lang ng symbol. And in relation to that, symbol is a recall of the experience. So that's the second factor, experience. Ano yung mga naging experience na sa inyo? So it matters that they should have a positive experience. This is crucial, especially not just for e-commerce companies, but for every business. The moment they meet someone from your organization, you should have a standard that everyone should have a positive experience. So that yun yung maaalala nila when they see your symbol. And that involves a process, a standard process in your operations. So that's why, di ba, meron tayong define marketing, operations, saka finance. And then meron tayong key resource and key activities. So on those two, key activities and key resource, kailangan natin ng standard or a best way to provide the best experience to complement the value proposition you're offering or the benefit or product and service. So for e-commerce, kailangan meron kang at least good customer service for returns, madaling makausap kapag may nagka-problema sa purchase. That's part of the experience. And kapag negative siya, it goes back to the branding symbol. Maalala ay, hirap naman dyan, magreklamo Parang ganon. They don't put premium on relationship. Parang ganon. Hindi ako naririnig. So, sort of like that. So, experience is part of the branding. So, branding hindi lang siya logo. It's part of how we treat our customers. In doing so, on the third factor, it's the feedback that matters. When we talk about the journey stages, the content forms, we talk about relationship. And that relationship should be manifested on earned media. So, I think may typo ko dyan. Hindi message yung nasa dun sa feedback. It's earned media, earned content, user-generated content. So, the goal of good branding is to get as much feedback and convert them into earned media, so to speak. Ito yung mga positive reviews, user-generated content, testimonials. That would form part of branding, especially for online businesses. So, the fourth one, let's go to uniqueness. Uniqueness is something that would associate to your products and services. It doesn't mean you need to fill out this box for new businesses. Not everyone has a unique set of features for their product. Let's say nagbebenta ka ng let's say reseller ka ng cosmetic product. So, ibig sabihin, reseller ka, there are other resellers. So, you can't say you have unique product and service, di ba? Or unique product. But you can have unique service, di ba? Or, let's say totally wala kang uniqueness in terms of the offer. You can compensate on the experience and on the feedback. So, you can have a different iteration of what branding means to you. So, ang uniqueness lang, it tells us that we should have at least a differentiating factor for our offers. But it's not life and death situation. Kung wala naman, baka pwedeng ang uniqueness natin comes from the other factors. Like, yun nga, we provide the best experience. And it would be through time, magge-generate ka ng good, positive experience for all, and that would be your uniqueness. Not in terms of the offer or the product and service, but the service attached to it. Yeah. And yung fourth. The fifth one is, let's go to the words. The words. The words you use should have a standard in terms of the tagline you use, how you would create your description, your marketing content. There should be a standard so that your branding, your consistency, and the message you want to put outside and put in the minds of your customer would always be the same. So mapapansin nyo, lagi merong mga tagline, merong mga basic description, merong type of description na ginagamit. So meron ka dapat standards here in terms of, magsisimula ka dito, what is your unique value proposition? So unique value proposition, meron kang, when parang ganito siya, when customer ask you, ano ba yung business mo? May nagtanong. You can state that in 20 seconds. Kasi yung attention span mabilis. In a digital context, you should have the most concise, most planned for statement that describes your business. And it also, meron ka dapat standard on how to create descriptions for your products. That includes how you would link those out dun sa mga ibang parts ng branding. So words, yan. The one thing I always remember in words for branding is the 3-word rule. Kung si John Lloyd daw merong 3-month rule, dapat sa branding meron ating 3-word rule. So 3-word rule, or rule of 3, the best slogan, tagline should be in 3 words. It's vague, yet it all explain everything you do in the branding context. Mga example niyan, mga bida ang saya. We find ways. And you find definitions on that through your experience, uniqueness, symbols, and everything. So it's parang something memorable. Kasi daw, when things come in 3, it's memorable. Kapag 2, parang bitin. Pag 4, ang dami na. So it's a design principle that could be used on words. So it's a messaging. What message do you want to put out para magkaroon ka ng consistency in terms of recall? And then yun yung maaalala when they see your symbols, your logo, your colors. And lastly, personality. The 6th element or factor in branding is the personality. You should look into your business as a human being with a personality. Why personality? There's a concept in neuro-linguistic programming that it's a subtle cues that you give to your customers that kapareho mo sila. It's a mirroring concept. It's like parang kapag dalawang nagbenta sa'yo, yung isa kababayan at isang typical normal individual, you would most of the time you would engage on your kababayan or parang something you have in common. It tells us yung concept of mirroring in the neuro-linguistic programming. People relate to people, and if you have the same personality, you would connect easily. So, mapapansin nyo, mayroong mga brands dyan, medyo ang personality, professional. So, professional din yung wording, professional yung colors sa sinelect sa symbols, experience is professional, and then they feed, everything is professional. But there are brands na parang they mostly entertain. So, entertainment, medyo quirky, humor, ang personality. So, it mirrors based on the customer segment they want to target. So, kung gusto, tingin nila yun yung mag-a-appeal sa target market nila, yun yung isa-select mong personality. Pero, in my experience, starting business and hearing stories from past students, personality usually comes from the entrepreneur who start the business. Kung medyo seryoso sila, usually it would trickle down in the business. But the good practice is who are your target market, and you create personality based on those elements. Or you can be selective about it. There are a list of personalities you want to do. So you want to pursue. Usually, personality involves around evoking emotions, and that emotion would make your connection easier to create better relationship. So basically, it takes a page from neuro-linguistic programming. So, hopefully may natutunan kayo. This is a concept on the digital marketing course that I wrote for the University of the Philippines. So this is part of the branding, and I'm still doing stuff on the specific templates for each. Para yan, sulat-sulat ka na lang, and then at least you have a branding parang standard for you. So, kunyari, mayroon kayong campaign, papagawa mo sa iba. Ito yung mga symbols ko. Ito yung fonts, ito yung colors. Yung style of writing, dapat ganitong keywords laging lalabas, ganito yung pagkakasulat, in a personality of this, or style of writing. And then, sa operations management, ano yung link niya sa customer experience and branding? So, let's say customer service, returns, how should it affect the operations and the branding, and then how to get feedback, and lastly, how can you maximize the uniqueness of your products and service and trickle it down to the words and personality and even the symbols that you want to show So kung yung green square is mostly internal for the business, the effect on the customer is on the yung mga nasa white part. Yeah, mirroring, recall, the offers they see, the process they went through, go through, the earned media they read, and the message that you try to communicate to them. So, yun yung nakikita kong definition ng branding. I know, mag-search kayo sa internet. What is branding? Daming definition. Sabihin ng iba, symbols. Sabihin ng iba, how to message correctly. But in my experience, this is the most comprehensive one. And the good thing in this model, you can focus on siguro 2, 3, and not so much on the others. And it will create a good branding for you. Let's say, ang focus na lang is feedback. Not much on the standard with words. Not much with the personality. Symbols, lahat naman may mga logo, ganyan. So it's an easy thing to do. Uniqueness, there's no unique thing with your offer. You just hammer down on the feedback and experience. So you can create a good branding for the recall. Or you can be good at words, description, and the personality, how you write. Not much with the feedback experience. It's just about the messaging. You be good at that, and it form part of the recall for the symbols and magbe-build siya para magkaroon ng uniqueness. So, kunyari, yeah, magagawa kayo ng videos na makukulit for emotional connection, entertainment. So, it's a part of branding, it's personality. So, it really matters who the customers and who the entrepreneur is kung paano i-hit yung branding na to. So, it's a customizable thing. It's not one definition type of branding. So what matters is who are the customers and sino yung gumagawa. Okay? Question from sana hindi ako mabilis. Hopefully hindi ako mabilis on some of the concepts. And I will post the slides for everyone on our course site. So questions? So it's 9:30 now. I won't get most of your time na. I think it's late. So if you don't have questions, yeah, questions po. Google My Business, yes, it's a part of. I think it's not. It's debatable. I think Google My Business is more of a granted media than leased media. But there are still terms din eh. Pero it's more of a granted. Yeah. Granted. Much like search engine authority. So, kasi when we do, kaya ako nasabing grant, it could be leased media. Kasi you accept to their terms and condition. They collect the data and put it down on the Google Maps for Google advertising. But I think search engine authority is also affected by its link to your local search engine visibility. Ibig sabihin, if let's say may website ka, tama yung description mo doon, and then the local addresses, everything is similar to the one in your Google My Business, you would rank higher. Your website would rank higher as compared to others without Google My Business. So parang ito yung tinatawag ng local SEO. So I think Google My Business is more on the granted media side. So pwede siya pareho, but I think it's more leaning on the granted media because of its connection with search engine optimization, search engine ranking. So actually pwede kang gumawa ng website doon. Doon sa Google My Business, there is a free. Once you get approved or verified, there is a free website option there, and then And then you can create a free website. But yeah, syempre, limitation on the functionality. Just increase lang makukuha mo doon. Yeah. But it's still good to be used for search advertising, particularly yung sa mga map pins, and then yung mga nagsa-search mga directions. Yan, lumalabas siya sa Google Map. Yan, mga ganun. Hopefully nasagot ko yung tanong. Nahirapan ako doon sa tanong kasi pwede siyang granted and list. But yeah. I
Sir?
think more on yes.
For example lang for this one, I have a friend kasi marketing siya in Unilever. And then right now may sumisikat kasi 'di ba na game ngayon yung mga Axie, right? Na Infinity. So yung friend ko na yon, parang nakikipag-connect na siya with mga boss ng Axie para to partner yung si Unilever para lalabas na yung Unilever sometimes dun sa game or may mga ads whatsoever about Unilever. So part yan ng paid ads? Ano ba?
Paid ads yun. Paid ads in the form of parang ano siya, parang affiliate, sort of like that. Kasi I believe magbabayad sila dyan. So it's a partnership, and that partnership, that bridge is connected via paid media. Siyempre magbabayad. So I think it's more of a paid partnership. Para siyang a different form of influencer marketing, 'di ba?
Correct. Yeah.
So parang instead na may social media pages tayo na maraming followers, nagpo-post ka doon. Ito on your Axie groups, parang ganyan. Technically, it's your circle of influence, yung mga boss, di ba? Meron silang mga scholars and all.
Correct. Okay. Gotcha.
Questions pa? Kahit anong question, kahit yung mga weird. Hindi na pala ako lumabas sa video. Nakalimutan ka ng pindutin. Anyway, naglalaro ako ng Axie. Actually, hindi. I know people.
Ako manager ka, sir, eh.
Hindi, meron akong ibang mga games.
Ako
hindi ako naglalaro. Hindi ako naglalaro.
Nag-a-Axie din ako. Tsaka nagbe-breed.
Gusto ko nga magsimula kasi ang baba ng SLP.
Bumaba eh. Tsaka madali ngayon, bilihan. Mababa mga
Oo nga daw. Ipapalaro ko dun sa mga staff ko. Parang hindi na ako maglalaro. Sayang, walang oras eh. Other questions pa? I believe sana may natutunan kayo. I hope you learned something dito sa webinar na to. Content marketing. Kaya ako siya pinili kasi maraming students na may business na. And when I saw their accounts, social media accounts, this concept and these techniques, I think would help them create better content marketing. Not much siguro sa paid advertising, at least they know the concept. Pero at least kung magpo-post kayo sa online, maraming avenues and maraming ways to do that to connect to your customer. So hopefully nakatulong siya, especially on the students with actual businesses. All right. So next webinar, I'll try to have it next week. But next week yung schedule. We'll try to do some of the technical digital marketing techniques. So yun yung mga request ng students, especially yung mga paid advertising, mga actual SEO, kung meron, and then other forms that you request. So I will post forums na lang on our course site. All right. So with that, thank you very much, and that would conclude our third webinar or the course. Okay? So thank you very much po for attending, and have a good day. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Po,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you po.